Hey guys, before we get into things, please subscribe to our channel and make sure you turn on notifications so you know every time we post. And also, head over to our social pages, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram so you can see clips and chat wrestling with us. But now, let's get into the video.
Saturday night's main event wrapped up in the books. Your boys, Chris and Chris, C2 Wrestling. We were live watching the show, talking shop with some of the fans. It was a great time. If you missed out, be sure to come tune in the next time. We'll be doing this time in and time out whenever we can get together for these shows. It was a lot of fun. Overall, good show. 2 hours of straight wrestling, primetime TV, some commercials involved. I understand, there's not a lot of downtime, so it happens during a lot of the wrestling, but there's nothing to complain about, in my opinion. Top to bottom, a great show. Obviously, we watched it together, but what are your thoughts?
I think once again, people go in and they set these unrealistic expectations and they make all these scenarios in their head.
Mm-hmm.
So when they don't happen, they're like, this wasn't good. Like,
Yeah.
well, no, you thought of a million different things that if you thought realistically for 10 seconds, it was very unlikely they would happen. You would think the show was solid. It served its purpose. It was exactly what you should have expected. It's on prime time. You have all these title matches right before this big January 6th episode of Raw. There's not going to be a big title change. There's not going to be a huge story change. You obviously have the debut of the women's US title. So that's your big moment of a new champion crowned.
Yeah.
But I saw so many things of like, Owens is going to win. Owens is going to do this to win. Owens is going to something. Orton's going to help Owens. Like, no, none of those things were like the slightest bit logical. They were never going to happen. If you went in thinking that and it didn't happen, you're like, oh, the show sucks then. It's like, well, no, you just thought unrealistic things.
Yeah.
I wasn't watching that being like, if The Rock doesn't show up, the show's not good. Like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah. I'm
just
not
enjoy the
sitting
show.
here. I'm not sitting here telling people you got to lower your expectations, but you got to know what to expect sometimes. I like, listen, I didn't count out a Randy Orton involvement who didn't get involved tonight. That was definitely on the bingo card for sure. But that's the extent of it tonight. That's the only thing that really could have happened that didn't. To start the show, opening, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, a little bit of a grudge match. It's exactly what it should have been. In hindsight, I didn't expect it to maybe go down exactly how it did, but a straight up singles match. Drew came after Sammy for teaming with CM Punk. Drew goes over, pins Sammy clean in the ring. Move it along. Drew continues his revenge tour, if you want to call it that. We'll see where Sammy goes next. Maybe Sammy gets involved with Kevin Owens down the line. That match was exactly what it should have been, and it was a good match too. Again, nothing to complain about.
Yeah. And I feel like every story kind of served its purpose, still
Mm-hmm.
made sense. Like this to me, all the matches were solid. This to me wasn't like Crown Jewel, where it was
Yeah.
like you just completely, you know, throw reality away and do an exhibition. Like this wasn't an exhibition by any means. All of these matches made sense. They all were logical. Like they weren't random thrown together matches just because it's on a big
Mm-hmm.
network. All the outcomes were expected. Now, if you said, it was very predictable, yes, but again, I went in with the expectations. Pretty predictable
Pretty
show.
predictable. Listen, if you went in expecting Io Sky to win the world title, you went in with weird expectations, in my opinion. Liv was clearly retaining, in which she did. Pretty standard fashion, good ending to the match. That match was just the bridge to extend the Rhea Liv feud, which I get it. It's been ongoing. People want it to end. I'm in that boat too. Don't get me wrong. Maybe not the most ideal thing they could be going into right now, but it is kind of what was expected. And they, even though it was expected, and even though it's not ideal, they did it in a way that I'm okay with. It was done well. It's good. It's fine. Let's keep it going. Why not?
Yeah, and the big Raw debut on Netflix obviously is going to have marquee matches for both brands. We've got
Mm-hmm.
Roman Solo on that show, and they're obviously SmackDown guys. Like this is They're treating that like a WrestleMania, like they've said. There's rumored Seth Rollins versus CM Punk's going to be on that show. Like this is going
Yep.
to be a massive show. I didn't expect Saturday night's main event to be the same treatment as, you know, the Raw debut on Netflix, especially when you look at they're going to have one right before the Rumble. The one right before the
Yeah.
Rumble is probably going to be similar to this. It's going to be some title matches where you probably expect the outcome, but they still make sense story wise, 15, 20 minutes maybe. Like every match tonight got time. I actually think there were two pretty decent surprises tonight in the
Okay.
aspect of expecting things. I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty surprising that Cody used a chair to win,
Yep.
which, isn't unlike Cody. He said in the
Do what he's
promo
got to do.
exactly when they told that promo and Owen said like, "Hey, I'm prepared to do whatever it takes," and Cody's like, "I'm prepared to do whatever it
Yeah. Yeah.
takes." We saw that. The other one was Liv winning clean. Like
Yep.
I was fully expecting an interference. There wasn't. Liv beats Io Sky clean. Like that was surprising to me. Was it the most earth-shattering shock ever? No, but still, it was something unexpected. End to a solid match. I I feel like to complain about things. I don't want to say you're searching for complaints, but it's what I said before. You went in with different expectations than what this was,
Mhm.
and you worked yourself into a shoot.
Yeah, and I got to tail off the Liv match to say I've gone on record. I like Liv. I'm not the biggest Liv fan. I think Liv is a bit of right timing, right place, right timing. And she's made well for herself. Good on her. But Liv, needed a clean win. Liv beats a former world champion in Io Sky clean. Liv finally has, as we say, a head on that spike that isn't a Dom interference, a Raquel interference. It establishes Liv a little bit better leading into a big, probably January 6th Netflix Raw matchup against Rhea Ripley. Why not have her beat Io clean? It does no harm to Io. It only enhances Liv. Move the feud along, like I said. Why not?
I should say I did have a gripe during the stream that I should mention right now, and that was when Rhea came out, which I love Rhea. Her coming out in that awkward standoff,
Yeah, it
like
was
this
weird.
has been a blood feud. Rhea just faced Raquel in
Hmm.
a full a hardcore match essentially,
Yeah, yeah.
and like they fractured her face, and it's like, all right, go out there, do your stomp, and face
And
off.
and look at each other.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's
Why
like,
would
well,
Raquel?
that's
Raquel was
weird.
just,
Yeah, Raquel's in the background.
yeah, like hanging out. Like, shouldn't even at the worst, Raquel should have been
Yeah,
mugging her or something. It's all right though. I'll look past that for the one time thing. The next match, though, for those of you that don't know, if you don't, you should by now. This is a Gunther Stan account. All right, this is our man Gunther retains his World Heavyweight Championship. Triple threat. Damian Priest, Finn Balor takes the pinfall. Another solid 15-minute banger. What's there to complain about? Maybe this wasn't a 45-minute matchup. Maybe it's not Gunther's best match of all time. There's still nothing to complain about. This is exactly what I expected to be on the card for Saturday night's main event. Puts Gunther over. He has a clean win over Finn Balor. Another head on a spike. Damian Priest and Gunther should be done from here on out. They don't need to face off again, I should say. Gunther moves on. Finn and Priest maybe, get some matchup going between them again. Cool. We're moving everything along. This is the stepping stone into what's to come.
you did have in the match. What was it? Finn pin on Priest. Finn pin on Gunther.
Yeah.
Priest broke it up.
Yes. Yep.
So they might play into I had the match won and you cost
And
me
you screwed
whatever.
me. Yeah. Yep.
We both said we wanted to stack them, which
Mm-hmm.
wasn't likely given the guys. That was pretty close to it. Gunther
Yeah.
took out Priest,
Big
emptied the
time.
clip on Balor, clear as day win. No Ludwig, no Dom, no JD. This was straight up Gunther winning. He needed this.
That's as good as you can get outside of the two stack, is the way they had it go down. Puts Gunther over again. Why not? I keep saying why not, but all these things just line up. There's again so many ideas on paper. They could do this, they could do this, but and I understand wanting big things. You want surprises, big moments, but you just don't have to force them sometimes. Things can be just simple and organic and work well. And that's what this whole show was, this match included. It was simple, it worked well, it was good in ring wrestling. And it more importantly, again, is just moving the feuds along. We are now going to get Gunther in a whole new thing, it seems. We're going to get the end of this Priest and Balor feud finally. We're getting there. We're opening up new doors.
If they were to flip
Mm-hmm.
Cody and Gunther,
Yep.
they've cleared up Gunther for it. They
Yep.
haven't necessarily cleared up Cody for it, but you could have Cody go to Raw and Owens go to Raw
Mm-hmm.
at the same time. That is still a possibility. I don't know what they're going to do with the switching. Obviously, Raw will be back to the A show.
Yep.
I don't know which way it goes, but Gunther's free now for anything. And I know it seems more and more likely we get him versus Cena at Mania.
Yeah.
I get that. But this feels like clean slate. Something new starts for him on Monday.
Yeah. There's a lot of open avenues for Gunther. And, with this idea of him maybe floating a SmackDown, yeah, Cena seems likely, but it's a whole new flood of competition. If this man's healthy, Gunther versus Styles would feed families, as they would say. That's a matchup I got to see at some point. Who knows where they're really going, but we're right there. We are finally there. We're a week or two out from really finding out what's next for these guys.
The co-main event was
Mm-hmm.
the title change because it was the crowning of the first champion, the Women's United States Championship. I think if we had to rank it on like who we want to win, like Gunther is our number one. I love Cody, but if they like did something crazy where Owens won, like I wouldn't have
Wouldn't have
been,
been mad.
I wouldn't have been mad or anything like that. I wanted Chelsea to win to finally get a strap, and I
Yeah.
am so happy that she did. And this, we've talked about how easy they can do a Chelsea Green title run, whatever the
Mm-hmm.
title is. This feels like it's a blank canvas, and
It
there's
is.
so much possibilities.
Yeah, it was again another good match, also with a great ending to the match. That unpretty her from really the top rope, Chelsea Green flipping off, taking Mishin out. It's again, you have many choices technically, but you have one real choice. And this whole tournament, the entirety of it, Chelsea Green had to win. Before the bracket was even official, Chelsea Green's got to be in it. Chelsea Green has got to win it. And she did. I'm glad they did it. There's times where they swerve us, they go other routes, but this was one where you got to kind of deliver on what the fans want. I don't think we were the only two out here wanting Chelsea Green.
No, she wins in the Zack Ryder pants, as ugly
yeah,
as they were.
yeah.
But
Terrible.
very, very happy for her. If she can hold it till Elimination Chamber, that's in
Mm-hmm.
Canada. I know she's
Yep.
from the other side of Canada, but still, home country
I'd imagine that's the plan.
could be, something solid. I mean, that's only 3 months away or so. Then we get to the main event. We've already talked briefly about it. What were you have any gripes? We're I don't want to say we're nitpicking, but I think there's some like reasonable gripes that aren't like show ruiners.
Yeah, with this main event, I mean, I love Cody coming out with the Winged Eagle. That's a great touch to the event, great touch to the show. One night only, fine. Why not do something like that? Have some fun with it. Crazy to see. It's like 2K. It's like universe mode, seeing that Winged Eagle on Cody Rhodes. Gripes? Not really, to be honest. Like I understand maybe one or but I think this was, really this feud's been going on for a bit now. They've been building this Owens Cody feuds really since SummerSlam, but this was the first real matchup of the feud. We're only getting started. It's only the first inning, bottom of the first with these two guys. The chair involvement, the refs getting knocked out. It's all again stepping stones for what's to come next between Cody, Owens, and eventually Orton. Gripes? I really don't have any. Not with this main event.
I do agree that it felt like there was a ton of commercials.
Yeah, there was. Okay, maybe that's my gripe then. There,
That
yeah, that's fair.
that felt, it did feel a bit like we had more commercials than matches. Um, oh my God, I can't believe we haven't talked about it. I should completely halt whatever my next statement is. But best moments of the night were Jesse Ventura.
Oh yeah, Jesse Ventura was cracking us up. Our commentary. He's just naturally funny when he's not like even trying to be. His little
Yes.
like quips and stuff just crack me up. It's so good.
Yes, he was fantastic in that
Yeah.
match. Again, it goes towards like, Kevin Owens is really big on this, but just using logic.
Yeah.
Like that's all Jesse Ventura just kept doing. And WWE's commentary has gotten a lot better at just using logic. We talk about it with Joe Tessitore when McIntyre, it's so clearly Drew McIntyre. There's
Yep.
only so many guys with that exact build, and he's massive.
Use the Claymore and all
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Just because he's got a hood on, like there's no
yeah.
surprise there. Jesse Ventura just used logic the entire time.
Yep.
Like the entire match, just used logic and then mixed in with him just naturally being hilarious. That to go back to gripes, the commercials was a bit much. It did feel like there was, you know, a little bit more to I don't want to say more to be desired, but like, oh, wow. Wow.
What's
All right,
up?
we're getting a live reaction to this. Have you
Oh
been on
God,
social media?
I have not. Oh boy.
Um, Kevin Owens beat the brakes off of Cody Rhodes, and he hit him with a package pile driver.
Wow. Wow. I'm seeing that now as you say it to me. Yeah.
He hit him with the package pile driver, one of
All
my
fair.
favorite
Wow.
moves. Wow, we went straight from our live reactions to recording this.
Yes.
Haven't been on social
Wow.
media at all. And he walked out. Triple H came out after.
Cody on the stretcher. Oh my God, that's great stuff. That's what we like to see. That's how, again, what did I just say before we saw that news? This match was inning bottom of the first for these guys. It's a stepping stone to progress the feud. Kevin Owens snapped. That's what we needed.
That, again, I would have liked that on TV.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
I would have liked that on TV, but love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love
You
it.
know, I'm going to counteract the TV thing a little bit too, where don't get me wrong, I would love to see it on TV, but it adds a little bit to the realness of it. You know, it's the same as Cody attacking or Owens attacking Cody by the bus with no cameras. Owens had the winged eagle too. I think
Yeah,
Triple H was screaming at him and shit. Yeah. Yelling at each other. Love that. That's great
I
stuff.
love it. It's
Great stuff.
different. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's, again, goes back to what I was just saying. If you went in with these ridiculous scenarios in your head, we haven't gotten Orton back.
Mm-hmm.
Owens takes out Cody. He'll probably be back in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
SmackDown's perfect. SmackDown's tape next week makes perfect sense for Cody not being on the show. I would
Yep.
assume he's not. He can be back the following week, with a sprained neck or something.
Mm-hmm.
They can face again. Maybe it's the Raw January 6th. Maybe it's, I doubt it goes till the Rumble. Probably the Raw January 6th, honestly. That's not far fetched. And you get Orton's return there.
Yeah, they could. They very well. Hell, they could run it back at the next Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. But come on, people.
Great stuff. This is great stuff. This is what we love to see. We said it at the beginning of this video. There's no complaints. I have no complaints about what we got tonight. That only adds icing to the top of the cake. Cherry on top, I should say. Love it. I'm actually, the more I think about it, the more I like that it wasn't on air, to be honest. I think that adds to the realness of it all.
Yeah. So solid show. We were
Absolutely.
live for it. We'll also be live January 6th, Monday Night Raw's debut on Netflix. Join us for our live reactions. This past live reactions, we had Jesse Ventura impersonations. We had Jimmy Hart impersonations. We had some fantastic one-liners, especially at the very end of our stream. You gotta be tapped in. You gotta join us. Subscribe, turn on the notifications so you know when we post and when we go live. We got a lot of good stuff coming.
We got a lot of great stuff coming. Come hang out, talk shop with the boys. A couple of us, we're having some fun back in this channel, back in this live chat on this review. This has been only a few months of C2 Wrestling. we're not that far into this when we really get down thinking about it. So much more to come. Like Chris said, go down below. Tell us what you thought about the show. C2 Wrestling.